All right. Make sure we got working audio. Be right back. All right, all appears well. So, Thanos number 16, I think, is where we're at. Got a lot more black to paint. Trying to decide. I know this fin has got to stay gold, but it's kind of like partially recessed down into this little thing, so I'm wondering if that whole space needs to be gold. I think I will. These, it's not an exact duplicate of the Thanos movie armor. It's pretty dang close, but some of the patterns are a little different. So some of it I'm just kind of having to take best guesses at. Like there's this one little spot, this little band right here that goes through his leg. Part of me wants to make it black because it would just break up that gold a little bit, but also it's not present on the reference material, so I don't know if I want to mess with it or not. I am going to, though, like when I'm done with all the gold parts, I'll give everything a wash just to dirty it all down, and then I'm going to go back in with a little sponge brush and brush the gold back up. I saw a really cool technique that a miniature painter was using, and I'm going to try it on this. It should restore some of the goldness without it being painted on, you know. It'll be just more of this kind of dabbled on, but then that will give me a little bit more control over, you know, these little, the gold has these little scratches and stuff, so I can avoid those. I can just tap the gold back up, like especially on these big flat areas here. So that should give me the battle damaged gold that I'm looking for. Once I finish, a whole lot of black and gold, but I think I can get that. I think I can get it all done tonight. Painting all the black, then I gotta go and look at the gauntlet. That's gonna be a bit of a challenge. That'll be fun. And then all I gotta do is finish the skin tones in the portrait, get it all wired together, and it's good to go. Now again, this is one of those discrepancies on the model where it looks like on the model that little inside part should be black as well, but the way it connects, I don't think I'm going to do that. What I think I'm going to do is I'll go back and do the edges in a sec with a smaller brush. That's going to bother the shit out of me. Right on the edge of this big square brush is a loose bristle. So we're going to get rid of it. to start on this exactly. Let's just start here and work our way around. Brush is just zipping right across this gold surface. It's like just gliding right over it. little bit of a smaller edge here. A little bit of a weird. Wait, is it? That's plastic. So there's a little bit of a weird texture in here. Nice little piece of putty. Still not the smoothest edge in there. Scuff it up a little bit. Paint over it. Just want to clear off this loose edge of paint. Hey, what's up, Cassie? What kind of printer do I use? It's a M3 Premium, Anycubic. I feel like I've answered that question before. Not that I don't mind. I love my Anycubic. It's fantastic. But yeah, the M3 Premium's really nice. I've had it for probably a little over a year now. Haven't had any trouble out of it. Once I got it dialed in, man, it's just been a little machine. I mean, machine. Like, it just keeps cranking it out. gotta go back in and touch up a lot of these little black, or a lot of these gold spots here. I'm using the black to cover over the purple, and then I'll cover over the gold, or I'll cover over the black with gold where needed. These little raised edges will be a whole lot easier to hit that way. Yeah, I started with the filament printer, the FDM, and I didn't like it. Like I knew this is what I wanted to do with it, like, and but FDM printers at the time that I bought it were, you know, markedly cheaper than the resin, and I really didn't. Resin seemed intimidating to me at first, so that's why I started with the FDM. But yeah, after about 2 months of it, and just not being happy really with anything I was making, I bought a small resin printer, like an Anycubic Mono 4 or something, just a teeny tiny one. Seriously, like little tiny. The print bed on it is like a little bit bigger than a business card. Like, it's like the print bed on it's like that big, super tiny. But man, after I got that and got used to it and kind of learned the ins and outs of resin printing with that, then I was ready to upgrade, and I started getting bigger and bigger machines. The next thing I got was a Anycubic Mono X, and that one not as good. Like that one, I think because of the way that they had the Z-rod oriented, there was a lot of wobble, especially as your print got taller. And I tried everything I could to fix it, apart from just buying a new stepper motor and replacing a bunch of parts. But then I decided it wasn't worth it, and I sold a commission piece, and that's what paid for my M3 Premium. And the M3 Premium is freaking awesome. It holds so much resin. I never have to worry about it running out. What I used to smooth I don't really smooth the model. That's what I'm saying. Once I got away from FDM and I realized how much work, like post-processing work, it takes to get stuff to be smooth with these resin prints, it just comes out smooth. I mean, I do sand down on support marks, obviously, and do minor repair work, but way better for statue making than FDM. There's just no way around it. Now for like cosplay and like life-size stuff, FDM would be the way to go. Resin doesn't make sense at that size. But for what I want to do with it, which is this, it's freaking perfect. I do a lot of gold repainting, but I don't want to have to repaint the skin tone. This purple, because I got nice gradients everywhere. It's probably still a little more purple than it should be, but also depending upon the reference material, you'll find sometimes he looks purple, sometimes he's like a light blue-gray purple. Sometimes he's almost a pinkish purple. So I don't think there's, you know, a set in stone palette. I'm just going to see what it looks like once I get the rest of them together. I may go back and do like a glaze over some of the skin just to like make it a little more pale. Give it a little bit more of a pale purple. I just do just a glaze over it. I think that could work. Is there more putty? Yeah, it is. Just like I didn't even do my job. Like, pass, Bobby, just let me down. And so, like, even these spots where the purple overlaps the gold, I gotta black it out first before I patch it. So the gold will look weird in that spot. Make sure I got all the bands. I got all purple covered. Tighter right there. Thanks, Glenn. It's starting to come together. A lot more black in his armor than I thought there was going to be. I don't worry about it too much. Need to hit this edge. What scale? Well, I think the original size was like a 1/6 scale, and I enlarged him just a little bit, basically to as large as my printer would let me do it. I wanted to get to a 1/4 scale, but I don't think I got that large. I want to say he's like somewhere between a 6 scale and a 1/4 scale, somewhere in between. I wouldn't call him 1/4 scale, but definitely bigger than 1/6. He's gonna be large. I think with the base and everything all said and done, he's gonna be like 27 inches, something like that. 27 and some change. He'll be a big boy. Something on my brush there. All right, let's get some of these big spaces. here again. Very carefully, giving it a second coat. And when I go to battle damage the black armor parts, it looks like the black armor parts are battle damage in gold. So I don't suppose I have to be as exact with this. Still. What's up, Jeffro? Long time, man. Where you been? Farming simulator, nice. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into a little gaming myself. When I don't feel like painting, some nights I just gotta take a break from it, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's enjoyable, sometimes I gotta give it a rest. And if there's nothing interesting on TV, I'm trying to get away from just sitting there and zoning out and rewatching the same shit I always watch over and over and over again. So rather than do that, I've been playing what's that fucking game? Marvel Rivals. That's what I've been playing. It's fun. I mean, it's basically Overwatch, you know, everybody says that, but it's like the early days of Overwatch where they haven't quite worked out the balancing yet, and so, you know, it's everybody's still trying to figure out, kind of learning how to play it with the different character sets and the different play styles and types and stuff, and so it's still a lot of fun. Eventually it gets to the point where, you know, I'm just getting spanked by a 12-year-old, and then that's just no fun. But right now, I can hang. So, I'm trying to get some people at work to play. Get a little squad going. All right, glove is done. Let's work on this helmet here. What is that? Got black in there. The outer band. This whole thing is black, black, black. And back then I'll make gold, so just be black up to there. I'll paint all around the recessed parts. I think that'll be black. Just on the inside around his face, that needs to stay black. Right. Cool. Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's fun. It's got potential. Like I said, I think they're going to be working on it. Apparently, it's pretty popular, which is also nice. That means you can get into games, pretty quickly, and it's free. It's free to play, so. I don't have to spend any money on it, which is great. I do need to kick them some cash. I think I will buy a season pass or whatever if I'm going to keep playing it. Because it is fun. But, collect little things while you're playing. Makes you feel like you're doing something. That's how they get you. But yeah. Good way to kill some extra time when I'm not painting a gigantic ass Thanos. But if I got a half day at work tomorrow, which is freaking awesome, and then I'm off on Monday for MLK Day, which is also freaking awesome, and then so I'll be able to have lots of time to throw at this in the next 4 days. So I will definitely be finished very, very soon. And then I got Mr. Freeze on the printer right now. I've got the solid parts of Mr. Freeze. I'm waiting for some clear resin to arrive. I'm all out of clear resin, and I want to do the base. He's got like all these ice crystals and things sticking out, so I want to use a clear resin on that. And then actually what I'll do is I'll probably mix in a little blue alcohol ink to tint everything kind of blue. But anyway, regardless, I gotta wait till Saturday for resin delivery. So I will be starting Mr. Freeze next week after I put together a Thanos video, of course. I know, I'm so generous. That Doomslayer model is pretty badass, but this is my year of the villain. So I'm doing villain statues for 2025. As many as I can make till I get bored with it and decide I want to make a Spider-Man or some shit. But I do have quite a few planned. So quite a few bad guys planned. I'm going to switch it up to a DC character, which is why I want to do Mr. Freeze. He's also one of my favorite villains. Just because his backstory is so tragic. And then I've got I got to do a Juggernaut, which would be sweet. I need to do a Vader. I haven't done a Star Wars character in a long time, but since I'm putting LEDs in this, I want to do Mr. Freeze first with no LEDs, and then Vader will have an LED. What is that called? A filament tube in his lightsaber. So I don't want to do too many electrical things back to back. Looks good. Alright, so the outer flap, the flap closest to his face is gold. Yeah, there's just a lot of like little panels in here that I'm just trying to decipher where one ends and one another one begins. For that panel, I'm going to leave gold. This I'm going to paint. It's like one little stripe here. If I can balance a glob of paint on it so I don't have to come back. Oh yeah, I see how it connects. Okay, that's good. Need more light. Obi-Wan Shinobi. I like that. I like that handle. Well played. Sorry, I suppose I should keep this on camera, huh? This brush is too big for what I'm trying to do here. And yet, I'm going back in with it. Tight. All right, that'll do. Let's give this a second coat while I'm over here. This gloss black dries so fast. It's absurd. It's hard to tell when it is dry though because the gloss still looks like it's wet. But it's definitely drying fast. Once I go back and matte out some of this black so that it's not all glossy, it'll add another kind of layer of depth to this thing. Right now everything's kind of shiny. And if it's one thing I can't stand, it's everything to have the same specular highlight. Painting Tiny Thanos. This is the second Josh Brolin character that I've painted. All right, so far so good. I gotta stop holding my breath. Whew. I write crappy code all day long. I don't care what that looks like. I am having to deal with these remote developers in Serbia right now on a client project, and they do not take instruction well. I don't know what that's about, and I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or if it's just them in particular, but man, like, look bud, it's just code. Calm your tits. I'm certainly not going to get into a fight with you about it. I really hate dealing with offshore developers, I gotta be honest. And it's not like I mean I definitely would consider myself to be like a racist person or a nationalist person or anything like that. Like, I don't give a shit where you're from. If you can do a job, you can do a job. But just language barriers and time differences, and like one of the biggest things was like they celebrate Christmas at a week after we do for some reason, for something, or some other like winter solstice holiday. I don't know if it's Christmas or not, but anyway, so like half of them were just not even working the week that we all got back, stateside, and we got deadlines, so that was not fun. Yeah, it's always fun when you got a good project. You got a fun project. That's what we live for, right? I mean, it's like I would love to be challenged, and build something cool and fun. But I'm stuck in corporate web development land, so I haven't built anything unique in a while. But that's why I do this in my off hours. It's too big. I need to go in with one. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that, like, unless I'm being challenged, like, I'm just not enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless it's something that, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna figure it out, kind of deal. The figuring it out part is always way more fun than the actual doing. Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm a front-end developer, more on PHP and JavaScript and CSS and Canvas and that kind of stuff, which is a lot of fun. Like, JavaScript is one of those things too that people either really like it or they really fucking hate it, and there's no in between. Like, I've never seen a half JavaScript developer. You gotta enjoy that shit if you're gonna do it, because it is not easy. But that's why I make the medium bucks. Sounds like everything's going to be made by AI pretty soon anyway, so I'm going to have to get this YouTube money happening. Even with that, I'm starting to realize that, like, unless you're willing to just flood the zone and just make a bunch of garbage, like, it's not really about quality as much as it is about quantity, and that really bothers me as far as when it comes to YouTube videos and monetizing and that kind of stuff. I don't want AI to chop up my videos into 30 shorts. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. Oh God, I knew a guy that he spent months and months and months writing uh, like transport scripts for Oracle, and then I don't even know if he ever finished that job or what, but it was the same deal. He was just like writing it for a bunch of different network devices, and he said that the Oracle translation was the worst. Apparently, getting shit out of that database is a pain in the ass. I haven't looked at anything like that since, I don't know, it's been a decade or more. I mainly just make marketing websites now. Much easier, much more fun, much less pressure. I don't want to be responsible for so much junk. If something happens to a web page, I can just tell them to roll back the server and it's all good. I'm at the point in my life where I just want to keep everything as simple as fucking possible. I'm tired of everything being so complicated. Like, it shouldn't be this hard to just exist. It shouldn't be this troublesome to just live. So I've spent the last couple years like just weeding things out, simplifying my existence, getting rid of people and things. And it's been working out. I'm much happier. But yeah, I mean, even at work, like, they trying to get me to step into a leadership position, and I'm just like, I'm good. I don't want to be on the hook for somebody else's work either. Which is why partially leading this team of Serbians is like not fun for me, because A, I don't want to do it, B, I don't enjoy it, C, it's not really my job technically anyway. So man, this YouTube stream just became a venting session for me. Thanks. Feels good to say all that out loud. Right? I mean, that's another thing too. Is like, I am seriously planning an exit strategy. The house that I'm living in right now, if everything goes according to plan, will be paid off in the next 5 years, which is fucking sweet. So once I'm out of a mortgage, then I'll definitely have more freedom to do some stuff. And moving a little further out into the country is high on that list. What I'd really like to have is like a barn or just a big shop, just a big shop area where I can do shit like this. I want to get into like welding, just random welded art. It's just a good skill to have, especially if there's an apocalypse. You gotta be able to weld some shit together. You need all the equipment, you need the space. And I think if I did start having a lot of space, I'd probably become a car guy. Like, that would probably be my next thing. The only thing that's stopping me now is not having a garage. But I've always dreamed about buying an old beater, some old classic, and fixing it up. Yeah, that would just be so cool. Just have a big ass workshop with all your tools and everything. Just building whatever crazy shit you want to build or program or whatever. All of it. You can do all of it. Have a big garden, greenhouse, grow a bunch of shit. I know what I would make. I would make electric wind turbines for people's houses. And just sell those bitches. Because you can buy all the components. You know, it's not like it's expensive to buy the components, and then just, if you have the welding, you know, you have the assembly ability. And that would be useful for wind turbines. You know, they'd be on their own for a battery, for, you know, a house battery and that kind of stuff, but I could do the research and make it compatible. And I wouldn't want to, like, I'm not trying to start a company or anything. I would just be like, hey, you know that guy down the street at the farm on blah 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 road? Yeah, that dude makes wind turbine electric generators. Go talk to him. That's all I need. Bust out a couple of those a month, pay my property tax, I'm good to go. Told you, got it all figured out. I'm like right up against his face right now. Gotta black out this edge. Purple. Have to go back and hit it with some black or some gold, but yeah, we'll do that. I just wouldn't want to make big stuff. I don't know why. I think that's a stage that every dude goes through. If you're a maker, you want to make things. At some point, you just want to make really big things. I feel like that's a common thing that happens. Oh, I gotta cough. Oh, excuse me. Got a bit of a dry cough tonight. Trying really hard to not get any black or gold on this skin. It's sealed pretty good though, so if I need to wash it, I can. Definitely have to go back and touch that up with some gold, but it's looking good. That side's got a little gap. This side is right up against his cheek. All right. What's going on the top here? Come on. So just those two inset parts are black. I can handle that. This gold with this black and gold, you almost have to push. You have to kind of jam the black into the corner, into the seams, because if you don't, the gold shines through. Pretty harsh. I don't want that. I don't want it to go up on the seams too much, but. Gotta get that again. I'm splunking. Get down in there. Yeah, definitely have to fix that up. Alright, let's splunk this side. Get in there. right. Thanos has got a helmet now. Can't wait to start doing the weathering. Weathering on all this stuff is going to be cool. Can I finish blocking in these colors? All right. Time for this big bastard. All right, so all of that's black. All of that infill. Looks like this chunk is black. This is that old gold. Yeah, I got a bright gold and a greedy gold. So that'll be the greedy gold there, which is a little bit more of an orangey kind of deeper gold color. And then it looks like this middle flap is the greedy gold as well, and it connects to this. It connects to this internal piece here. I think I'm just going to do this. So I'll just do that piece and that piece is greedy gold. That'll be the regular gold. That'll be the regular gold. That'll be regular. That'll be greedy. But anyway, this panel is black. That's gold. All that is black. I think it just goes black, gold. It's kind of black on the inside. Yeah. And then the rest I'm just gonna have to kind of feel out. What's going on the sides here? That's gold. That's gold. Like I said, these don't exactly match. That black? Yeah, that's black and that's black. It's black. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to wing it. I think those panels are black. All right, well, let's see what happens. That's 4. Well, this is going to take a minute. Once I get all the black and gold blocked out, then I have to go in and give it a varnish. Do a gloss varnish, obviously. And then after that, I can start the weathering and then the final varnish. Because like some of these black spots are going to be glossy for the hard black spots, like the hard metal spots. But then he's got these little flexible bits that are more of like a rubbery black looking. Excuse me. It's more of like a black rubber. Like on his little skirt flaps. So that'll help break up a lot of this black. Like right now it seems to be exceedingly black and glossy. So I get some matte in there, it'll separate these materials. That's when it gets fun. You're printing a Batman? Is it really big, or is it just giving you problems? I do like the Arkham suit on Batman. I mean, I do like the of the bat suits. The Arkham bat suit is probably one of my favorites. It's just more tactical. Dang, 31 inches. That's a big boy. That's no joke. Yeah, it sucks because like, well, it doesn't suck, but it's one of those weird things that like the video game versions of some of the characters, their suits are just so much better. Like a lot of the Spider-Man skins are really good in the video game. But I really like the default Spider-Man suit. In that last Spider-Man game that came out, I can't remember which one it is. I'm blanking, but it's got the white it's got the Spider-Man suit with the white inlays. I really like that one. Dang. Yeah, the base on this is a little over 12 inches. It's right around 13, closer to 13. And it's huge. Like, I'm buying a 12-inch shelf to put this thing on, and it's going to hang over it a little bit, I think. Yeah, like I said, I like how tactical it is. It's just like with all the panels, you know, the armor plates. Cool suit. I never liked the suits, the bat suits that are all like like they just look like cloth, or you know, just like a fabric-y kind of material without any sort of plates or armor or anything. I do not like those. I'm like, that man wouldn't wear that when he's getting shot at and shit. There's the guy in Georgia you're sending it to? Is this where you try to tell me you're going to send it to me, but I have to send you something first? I know how this scam works, Jeffro. I'll send you the Doom guy statue, and you send me the Batman. How about that? Although a 31-inch Batman, I mean, I feel like you're going to want to keep that. That's too good. You know, whenever I was looking at my handle for like what I was going to call my YouTube channel and stuff, I was genuinely surprised that Statue Forge was still available. Like, how didn't somebody else not put that together before I did? I bought the .com too, just in case I decide to use it. Oh, getting this black down these little creases is going to be a bitch. I don't see it at the right angle. I miss it. I'll go around the perimeter with this number 4 and then break out my paint mover. I suppose I can be a little more liberal with this. Not my first rodeo. I know how this works. I'm glad you jumped on tonight, Jeffro. I really was kind of questioning. I was like, where's Jeffro at? You know, missing a couple sessions. You know, that's fine, but I'm 16 sessions in with this Thanos here. And I know Jeffro's going to want to see this. You missed all my... Oh, man, you missed the induction switch and everything. I put a magnetic induction switch in the base. And it turned out so good. I can't wait to try it out. I assume it works. I tested it before I, started painting and everything, so... Assuming it all goes according to plan, the little magnetic induction switch I built into the Captain America shield in the base is going to make it super, super cool. Oh, I have to go back and touch that up. Oh, okay, good. Oh, you don't have to apologize. But I was worried about you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I tested it quite a bit before I committed to it. Even just checking like the range, how far how much play I had in the magnetic field. Because like, if it was one of those things where it needed to be in physical contact with it, it probably wouldn't have worked out. But getting it just close enough so that the magnetic field registers, it's perfect. And so yeah, I'm going to be using those magnetic induction switches as much as I can, because it's just a cool way to hide a switch without a button or a toggle visible, you know. Yeah, no, everybody's good. Same here. I mean, we've been busy, but hey, what's up, little chaos? Yeah, we've been good. It's same thing, just coming down off the holiday break. I had like a week in between Christmas and going back to work where I just threw myself into making this Thanos statue, and so that was a fun way to spend the end of the year, or beginning of the year, I guess. And then the hardest part, just getting back on a sleep schedule, because all during the Christmas break I was going to bed at like 3 in the morning and sleep until 10, 11. So my sleep pattern got really screwed up. So I'm still correcting that this week, but yeah, no, thanks for asking. Everybody's healthy and happy. Trying to get back into things, get back into life. You know what I'm saying? But my little, does it do that sometimes? I added a little like animation to this studio software that I use. But sometimes when I hit spacebar, it turns off instead of just muting my audio. You start at 6? Dang. That's rough. I haven't seen 6 in the morning in a long time. Now, I mean, since basically my commute is just downstairs, I try to sleep in as long as I can before I have to get on the clock. I should be better about it. I'm definitely gonna try to fix my schedule. I have so many wasted hours. I feel like I just waste hours of the day, when I should be doing something productive or just healthy, or making better decisions. I need to get back into that, because this is it. This is as good as it gets. I'm not a young man waiting around for stuff anymore. So I need to be leaning into this, living the dream business. Well, 6 to 3 is not bad. I mean, if you get out, you're getting off at 3. You still got a whole lot of afternoon left. That's pretty nice. I'm usually on the clock around 9:30 and work until about 5:30 or 6, depending upon what I got going on. But the start of the year is typically a little slower, so it hasn't been super busy. Yeah, same. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. It's like it doesn't really matter, like, you know, what time you get going or whatever, because the only the only thing that counts is what gets done. And if you're lucky enough to work at a place where they don't care what time you work as long as it gets done. Although I could never be one of those like night owl kind of people. I used to be when I was younger, but now I can't. Plus, it would just be inconvenient. Those, I may have to sand those down and repaint. Looks like I missed a couple of support marks right there. I didn't paint it, or I didn't see it until the gloss black hit it, caught the light. Hate that. Super annoying. Oh, let's move this. Let's move this face out of the way here. Accidentally make it. Oh, I missed a spot right there. Oh my god! All right, nobody in a million years is gonna see that. I don't know why I feel compelled to paint it. Literally, like up underneath his helmet, where absolutely nobody can even see, except for me. Oh, my towel's getting all cringy. Sometimes my bristles get like just like super saturated. I know when they start to bend and then they don't unbend. They bend and hold their shape, then it's got too much in it. In this particular case, the buttload of black still. And clean that out. It's better. So I'm gonna finish trimming out these black parts. Oh, this thing is freaking huge. get my big square paint mover. Oh, I overloaded that. I'll let it run down into these crevices anyway, so let it ride. This black also, it goes on kind of chunky sometimes, but I don't know what Vallejo does, but man, there's some kind of leveler in it. It just levels right out. At first, when I was putting this on, I was afraid of brush marks in the black on the surface, but the way it just evens out, it's pretty nice. Alright, let's give that a few minutes to seep down in there and go back and do a second coat in some places. Alright, so I think that piece is also a black. I gotta mix up some more black though. Just draining it. This thing is drinking this paint. Chica. It's a lot. Because I will be using it. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely, this is one of those kind of focal statues in my collection. He's getting a special spot between my Avengers posters. Thanks, Jeffro. I can't wait till just like get to the weathering stage. Right now, everything's just bright and shiny and new. When I go to do the weathering on the armor and on the skin and stuff, it's gonna look really good. The base turned out fantastic. I was super happy with the skulls and stuff. How they turned out made me super happy. So now I just gotta make the rest of it look just as good. It's happening. The viscosity of this batch is a little off. Very, very wet. Let's fix that. Yeah, this is the one. Well, it's not the one where he's like holding his sword like straight out. It's the one. It's the bust. It's the bust version on the statue where his sword is in his other hand and he's got the nano gauntlet. So this guy it'll be on this hand. I didn't realize this too, but the gauntlets, the Infinity Gauntlet he is left-handed, and the Nano Gauntlet is right-handed, which I thought was interesting. I didn't really notice it until I, started looking at the mop a little more closely. I just never put that together. So yeah, I didn't want to do the one where he's sticking his sword out because, I mean, the size of this thing, it would have stuck out like, I don't know, 18 inches. Like it would have just stuck so far out from the statue. It would have looked awesome, but I didn't want his sword just like dangling out there. So this one's a little more compact, which I like. Oh yeah, I was gonna mix it. Add a little more black to that. Yeah, so this version is a little more compact, and I like the Nano Gauntlet. Did I already do this? It's hard to tell viscosity here until I get it right. That's better. So many light sources now. Honestly, I wish I'd waited a little longer before I painted the Avengers series from Wicked. All the OG Avengers. I wish I'd waited a while till I learned how to do skin tones better, because like Captain America's skin tone's all fucked up. Black Widow, her eyes are in the wrong position. Like there's just so many things I've learned since I did those that makes me realize how much I messed them up. Because I could always go back and try to paint over them again. Parts of it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Captain America would be fine. The only parts of his skin that show is his face. So I mean, I would just need to mask off around the helmet and then repaint his face. I may do that one day because it's very, very pale. Hawkeye is probably the only one I wouldn't have to redo. His skin tone's actually pretty decent. I don't like the red that I used on the Iron Man. So I'm definitely going to do a quarter scale Iron Man whenever I After I'm done with my my villain run and I get back to it, I'll probably start with quarter scale Iron Man. Some lights in it. Shit, it'll be awesome. But I've got a quarter scale statue slot that I need to put a statue in. Tired of looking at all these empty holes in my office. But I'll do the alternate, or I'll do the Wicked Iron Man where they're like he's standing like back to back with Tony Stark. You know, I'm not gonna do the Tony part. I'll just do the standalone statue where he's like posed with his repulsor arm kind of sticking out. But for right now, I'm just gonna enjoy my villain run. Got some cool bad guys lined up. I think I am gonna do a few Spider-Man bad guys. I've got an Electro. I've got a Green Goblin. I want to do those during my villain run, and then when I get back into it, I want to do a couple Spider-Men. I've got a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man already done, but I need the Andrew Garfield and the Tom Holland Spideys in my collection. Yeah, most of the stuff I do is from Wicked. I've done a couple other, like the Ninja Turtles were the LA Figures Ninja Turtles that I did. The Green Lantern, I think, was CA Studios or something like that. Somebody else. But the majority of my statues are from Wicked Patreon. I like their stuff. I like those guys. It's been cool watching them become successful. You know, like they started with just like two dudes, and then they've been scaling up over the years, and it's been fun to watch. And their work has gotten phenomenal. Like when they started doing like real detailed textures, like their work has gotten, the quality has just gotten much better. Oh yeah, definitely. I've got a good Vader on the list. I don't want to do the cape. The cape on the Vader statue from Wicked is a pretty nasty looking piece of geometry. But Vader is definitely a big bad that I got to get done. I'm gonna space him out a little bit, because I want to put LEDs in his lightsaber, of course. And since I'm putting LEDs in this, I don't want to do two electrical statues like back to back. You know what I'm saying? After this, I'm doing a Mr. Freeze. Some really rad transparent parts. And after that, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't thought past Mr. Freeze. Yeah, same. Yeah. I started my very first statue that I painted was February of 2022. So yeah, I've been at this for a couple years now. I don't remember when I joined their Patreon, but it's definitely, I would say it's probably been about that time, because that's about when I started. I think the first full-size quarter-scale statue I did was a Boba Fett. That was fun. My printer is a Anycubic M3 Premium, and I really, really highly recommend that machine to anyone who's looking, because well, for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is that the vat is huge, and I know some people use those automatic filler things, but I've read a couple horror stories where the filler malfunctioned and just pumped a whole bottle of resin like all over these people's machines. I felt so bad. I was like, yep, don't need that. So the vat on the M3 Premium will hold like 2 kilograms of resin, which is more than enough for any print run. You're not going to run more. I mean, come on. Physically, it can't even print that much resin at once. So you never really run out. And it's just easy. You don't have to worry about it. You know, it's just easy to keep topped off. I get the inside of that. Oh, Saturn II, nice. Yeah, you know, I went from like the M3 Premium is a 8K printer, and you know, I was skeptical about going from like a 4K printer to an 8K printer, but it really does make a difference. Like the resolution really does pick up little details way better. Oh, I airbrushed bright gold. That's what this is. But you do it over gloss black. I mean, that's the trick, is like to get it to have that kind of undertone kind of shine, is primer, gloss black, and then your gold. Bit of a pain in the ass, but it's totally worth it. Did I miss a spot? No, it's just where the light hits it. And then I'm going to go back. Like right now, this is all gloss, but parts of his armor, like his under parts that rub against the skin and stuff, that stuff I'm going to put a matte finish on. So instead of it being a shiny black armor look, it will be more of a rubbery, flexible kind of fabric-y look. Not fabric, but you know what I'm saying, like a rubbery kind of texture. Yeah, I'm doing a very minimal brushing of the gold, all the metals actually. So for the nano gauntlet, this was a chrome base. It's black gloss, chrome base, and then I did a red ink, so that's why it's still got some of the metallic kind of sheen coming through it, which is really nice. The problem with that is like you can't patch this. So like if I didn't, everything that's painted has to be painted at the same time. So if I mess up, I have to chrome it and then try to tint it again, and it just won't look right. So doing this method is kind of a one-shot deal, which makes me a little nervous, but now I got to go back in and brush paint some details, and I gotta do some ink on the infinity stones, so when they light up, you know, they'll be the proper colors. So still got some to do on that. But this Army Painter Gold, it brushes on pretty well too. One trick I can tell you is to use airbrush thinner instead of water. Use airbrush thinner to thin this out, because what happens is the little flake particles inside of there, if you use water to dilute it, it'll dilute. But those little, I don't know if it's like a static, like a, I don't know what it is. It's some sort of ionization or something that causes the little flakes to just puddle together when they're inside of water. So you end up with these big splotches of shininess, and it just looks terrible. But if you use an airbrush thinner to dilute it, it keeps the particles evenly distributed. So it brushes on a little better. And then it's just a whole lot of like really thin coats. So brush painting metal is not my favorite thing to do, but it is possible. Right, so I think it's hard to tell how much of this is, because see, like in the reference photo, all that underneath his arm is black, but this is not a 1-for-1. See, like, well, see, like according to that, that should be black. See his other arm? No. Let's see if I got some other reference material here. But yeah, so that part's definitely black. Yeah, so it's like, so the top part of his arm band thing is black. The bottom part of his shoulder thing is black. This thing is supposed to be black. But underneath, I still can't tell. It's black. It's gold. I think all that's black. Okay, so I'm gonna leave these. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna leave these chunky parts here as gold. But then I'm gonna start with the black on this band, on this banded part here. It's not an exact 1-for-1, so just kind of have to make it up as I go. Yeah, my rule is that I don't want to have too many. I don't want to have too many like printed kits laying around, you know. So I'll keep one. I keep one on my paint desk. That's the one I'm working on, and then I keep one in the printer or in some stage of being printed. But those are the only two I have. Like I don't have a pile of other statues. Like I try to keep a cycle going. Like as I'm wrapping up a paint job, I start printing another one. And so like Mr. Freeze is almost done printing. About the time I finish this, he'll be done and ready for the next and ready to go. So do I do a lot of live painting? Yeah, I try to. I feel like it keeps me honest, you know, as far as like dedicating time. If I know that I got Jeffro waiting on me, then I try to get back into I try to do as much live painting as I can. That being said, I don't paint everything live. Like some stuff, especially like pre-production stuff, where I'm masking something off or you know something like that. Like that stuff, I record it, but I don't necessarily stream it. But for the most part, live painting gives me a reason to talk to myself. Whoa, you have 55 like fully printed statues just hanging around? That's a lot, bro. Yeah, for me, I try to remember that like I'm not doing this for the end product. You know, I'm not doing this because like the end product, there's always going to be an end. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get my joy from the actual process of doing. Like I was telling Jeffro earlier, like I like a challenge, and so every paint job is a challenge, and I try to enjoy it. You know, so I don't want to become a statue factory. but this really is like the best hobby I could have asked for. Like, this is just one of those things that, like, it just lines up with my personality and my interests so well that I can't not do it. So here I am, and I will paint statues until my eyes and my hands won't allow it anymore. Oh, you work for a 3D printing company. Okay, well, you're just bringing your work home with you then. That's funny. I always wondered, what is a 3D printing company like? You just take orders from people online and print whatever they send, or do you prep the files? I guess you probably have to pay extra for that or something, or I always wondered how that worked as a business model. Again, I would never want to do it because I don't want to be just a print farm personally. I thought about printing and selling statues, like opening a shop and taking orders. But I don't know. I don't want to be, not beholden, that's the wrong word. I don't want to be like obligated to have to paint. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's part of what I'm doing it too, is because I'm a gigantic kid, and like when I was a kid, I always hoped that we would have the kind of future, like like in Star Trek, where you could just like go up to a computer and ask it to make something, and it just replicates it, just spits it out. And this is pretty dang close. I mean, you got to push a few buttons and do a little bit of effort, but I mean, the fact that I can go from a file in my computer to a thing that I'm holding in my hand and I get to paint, it's fantastic. Oh, okay. You're doing like machine type stuff with like precision printing. Okay, that's now see, that as a business model makes sense, because I mean, obviously there's no room for error there. But that's another reason why I didn't want to like get into doing this as a painting statues as for a living. Like, this is just for me. So it's like I can cut corners where I feel like cutting corners, or if it's not perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have somebody else, to worry about. Whereas if I tried to do this as a business, it would just drive me crazy, and then I would end up hating it, and then I wouldn't want to do it anymore. So but I will take some money from YouTube. I'm not gonna balk at that, because that was another thing. People were saying like, oh, you should do a Discord and charge people for tutorials or whatever. It's like, I don't want to be in the business of making tutorials either. I want to share my knowledge and give people tips for painting and stuff, but just come out and hang out with me on my YouTube channel and ask me your questions and let's chit chat. I don't want to make it like a transaction. Sucks the joy out. Transactions suck the joy out of everything. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the same. Like, I just want to be surrounded by, the shit that I dig as a kid, and yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. And now I have the room that I've always dreamed of. Like, seriously, I spend 80% of my week in this one room, my office and my studio, and I'm here from 8:39 in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock at night, pretty much every night, every day. And I freaking love it. I'm just surrounded by all my shit. I'm like a dragon in my hoard. Just sit on my hoard of Marvel stuff. Yeah, dude, I got moved around in my house so many times. Like, I had to move my office so many times because we just, various life reasons, had people like moving in with us and living with us. And so the last move, I was like, look, I'm not moving again. So here's what we're going to do. And I ended up taking over. We have this really long, weird room in our house. It's the width of the house, but it's just narrow. It's like a shotgun room. And we used it for a dining room, we used it for a living room, we used it for like a library. We tried a whole bunch of stuff. We just could never make anything really feel good because it's just a weird ass shaped room. And so I remodeled it. I divided it into 3 sections basically. So a third of it is my office, a third of it is my studio, and the middle third is like a lounge area with my TV and a little couch and snacks and shit. So so that's what I did. And I mean, I went like I went all in. Like, I drywalled in a new built-in cabinet thing for my statues. I ran lights all around the perimeter. I ripped up the carpet and refloored it. Like, I just went ham on it. And I was like, this is going to be the last room I'm going to do. I'm going to make it right. And I did. And I have. And I love it. And yeah. So anyway, to your point, I feel like you definitely need to have a space of your own, to call your own. Just for your own mental health, Just a spot where you're making all the decisions. You choose the paint color. You choose the furniture. You choose all the shit. Nobody else gets to say anything. And I told my wife, I was like, look, you can do whatever you want with the rest of the house. This room is mine. So if I want to spend $1,800 on a coffee table fridge, then I'm going to spend $1,800 on a coffee table fridge. It's got a Bluetooth speaker in it. Fucking love that thing. It's good times. Good times. Yeah, that feels right. I need to touch up that gold under his arm though. Some purple in there. Problem with the painting the gold sometimes is that like the base has to be black or it just won't look right. So I'm gonna have to go in and spot paint some gold. But not that big of a deal. I don't know what to do about his veins. Usually I would do blue blue veins, but you know, he's purple. So maybe I'll just do some of this grimoire purple. It's a little bit of a pinkish. I'll do a glaze with that or something and just glaze it up. I gotta paint this band around his arm too. It's weird too, because it's like I lived in my house. We've lived in this house for going on 18 years now. And for the longest time, I just didn't spend any effort or energy like making any of the rooms nice, you know, like personalized. Like my wife did decorating and stuff, and you know, I mean, it's nice, but I just mean for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I just never took the time to figure out what like I wanted in an environment. And so a few years ago, I started painting walls and hanging pictures, and I know it sounds silly, but it's like it's one of those things that like I just never really thought about until much later in life. And it sucks because, you know, your environment really affects your mental health. I really wish I would have thought about it sooner. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good point. I was gonna, yeah, a light red wash. Or I see what you're saying. Do a light red and then do a like grimoire purple wash over it. I see what you're saying. That would give it a little bit of warmth. That's probably a good idea. I saw this thing. I saw a tutorial. I think it was Creative Collector from YouTube. Using watercolor pencils to do like raised textures like veins and hair and stuff. It has a really good idea because he was like using the watercolor pencil to mark stuff, but then using a little bit of water to blend it. It's watercolor, you know, it blends. So I may give that a try. Trying to do it with a brush increases the probability of it just like going off the rails. Start talking about details that small. I did notice when I started like kind of decorating and painting and stuff, especially in my offices. Oh yeah, I never finished my story. So yeah, I just kept getting moved around. So it's like my office was upstairs in the spare bedroom, and then somebody needed it, so I went to the basement. We had like a little half basement room downstairs, and then we decided to renovate that and build out the basement for my in-laws. So I got kicked out of there. Then I went back upstairs and then got kicked out of there again because my wife's cousin needed a place to stay for a couple months. I was like, look, all right, this is not going to work. And that's when I laid down the law. I'm just kidding. That's when I decided to take over this room down here, and so I figured out I really like. There's a certain set of colors that I like for wall colors, and it's just eerie what they called them, because like the first color I really liked was called Galaxy. All the paint colors I like are all space named. That's what I'm getting at. The first color I really liked was called a Galaxy. Galaxy Sky or something like that. It's really dark blue. And then I have a Space Gray, which is kind of a blue gray. And then I used a black. I forgot what the black was called, but it was something space related. So like the wall behind me, I painted a black wall, and I was like, my wife's like, "Well, you're painting a black wall?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm painting a black wall. I want it to be the backdrop for my statues." I got glass cabinets. So I painted the walls black so the glass cabinets would have a nice background. And at first it was very shocking. If you ever paint a black wall, to see the largeness of it is I guess the best way I can phrase it. But like a big black wall is very intimidating. But it does look classy once you start decorating and getting other stuff in. Freaking love it. Outer space, that was the color. That's the paint color. It's just straight up outer space. And I realized that I definitely have a type. And I feel like the people that named the paint color were also on some sort of kick. Either that or they just really, really know their audience. Their target demographic was a 40-year-old dude named Bob. They fucking nailed it. And a little lip around these muscles. Okay. I don't want... behind that thing, so I guess it's okay. Went a little high. That's okay, can't see it. Just go around the edge first, and then I'll come back around for the stuff. Brushes are so old. I got like all my brushes have little hooks on the end of them. Which I used to hate, but now it's like if you pay attention to what's going on with the tip of your brush, and you got it, you know, you got hooks and stuff, it's frayed edges and whatnot. Pay attention, you can actually use it to your advantage. Like what I'm doing right now is like I'm hooking around, like around this little tight corner with my brush. Can't really see it, but on the very, very end, there's just a very pronounced hook. Take it easy, Jeremy. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you on the next one. Should be finished with this guy over the weekend. My mask built up some purple right there on the back of his arm, but I'll just make it look like a scar or something later. Finally got the viscosity of this black just right. Also, I think painting over the gold is a little bit, the surface is a little slick. So the black kind of glides across the gold a little too easy. Whereas this has got a little bit of grab. You can feel it, like you can just feel the paint flow. Did a pretty good job covering the seam in his arm. It's a little rough, but this looks like rough skin, like he's been burned or something. Kind of blends in with everything else. Thanos has seen some shit. He's all battled up. Alright, yeah, there's no way I'm going to even attempt to paint that gauntlet tonight. So I'm just going to get this black on and probably it's going to be it. Then I'll do the gold touch up and then I'll seal it. And then keep moving. Oh, this is awesome. Might be as good as that's going to get because I can't get in there anymore. Can't get in there any deeper. No, hitting the purple, and I really don't want to do that. Alright, that's good enough. All kinds of paint dried up in the top of that. It's not paying attention. A whole lot of black dry in there. Whew, all right. I wonder about like the big statue companies. I mean, I know they outsource a lot of the painting to China and factories and that kind of stuff. I wonder if they take the time to hand paint things like this. I mean, I know they try to do the majority of the paint job with the airbrush, and it shows. It's definitely a different look. Not that it's bad, but I just wonder if there's some dude like me that's getting paid to like agonize over details and brush painting. I know one thing. If I had it to do all over again, I would definitely go into a creative field where I get to make stuff. I mean, I get to make stuff now. But it's website stuff, and it's not like I'm talking about like a tangible thing. Early in my career, I went on the Sony Pictures lot during Jurassic Park 3, I think, and I got to meet Stan Winston and tour his studio. Well, they have like a half studio on the lot, and their main studio is somewhere else in California. But I got to hang out in the workshop, talk to the guys that make shit for a living. They make masks or costumes or props or set effects or whatever. And that was just the coolest fucking experience. And I wish I had known that was an option, when I was a kid. If I had known that something like that is a job that you can pursue, man, that's what I would have been doing. Just making badass shit all day. Working like a creature shop, something like that, making movie props and movie monsters, and that would be so fun. I would have been good at that. Thanks, Smashing Gaming. Appreciate that. There's a whole lot more black on his armor than I first thought there was. Oh no, I went way high. of it anyway. And that's why we seal our models, kids. Because sometimes bad things happen to good people. Let's give it a bit of a dry. All right, take 2. Electric Boogaloo. Let's see if we can not fuck it up this time. Starting way back. All right, that'll do. Tell you what, I'm tired of painting this black though. He's 90% just black and gold. I'm really looking forward to the Mr. Freeze statue because I'm going to try out this, what is it? This weathering effect snow. So it's like a, I guess it like chunks up or something. I don't know exactly what it does, but I guess it's supposed to look like frost. I'm looking forward to throwing that on Mr. Freeze. I've never used it before. Where do I order my paint from? I try to buy my paints from my local hobby shop. Mostly Vallejo and Army Painter. So yeah, I try to buy my paints locally. If I can, I just order shit off Amazon. I'm tired of trying to fight the system. I'm just gonna lean into it. Yeah, Wicked did a Mr. Freeze, and it's really good. I'm really looking forward to. I got it printed out on my machine right now, at least the solid parts of him. I'm waiting on clear resin to get delivered on Saturday, and then I can print out the rest of him. But like, cause like he's got like a the dome over his helmet dome, and he's holding a little thing of his wife, his little frozen wife or whatever. She's got a little dome over her. There's a lot of transparent bits. Oh, that reminds me, I'm gonna need to do two different transparent plates. I need to do one plate with the transparent parts that are gonna stay clear, and then for the base and for the parts that have ice, I want to tint those blue. So that'll be a blue tinted transparency. So I can just print it all in clear and then paint it. But yeah, actually I might do that. I don't know. I'll see. I was planning on just throwing some blue alcohol ink in the clear resin, but it just dawned on me I don't want his helmet to be blue. That would be weird. feel like I feel like all these little plates right here should be blacked out. I don't know, let's do the front. We'll come back around. Yeah, some of this isn't exactly it's not movie accurate, so I'm just kind of having to make up some of it. It's pretty close. I guess that's why it's considered fan art, not licensed product. Because the armor is a little different. Same basic structure though. This hat just has a little more of a flourish. Right? The only person I gotta make happy is me. Right now, I'm pretty happy. That little like and subscribe bug keeps popping up in the corner of my eye. I've got it set on 10-minute intervals, but I may have to lengthen it. Yeah, way more black on this suit than I thought there was initially. That's nice. All right, let's keep going. Keep trucking. Try to not go so long between rinses. When you're just doing the same color for so long, it's easy to forget to not clean your brush. Just keep rolling from one thing to the next. Pretty sure this whole thing was black. Let me double check. his whole little neck sleeve is blacked out. Oh yeah, and the part of that shoulder I think also needs to be blacked out. Yeah. This one little tab right here needs to be black. Yeah, wait. Big old piece of putty in there still. Tweezers. Tweezed. Where's my curly? Yeah, the bendy ones. There's a perfect little ball of. Oh, it just came out. I won't scratch that up. There's a little bit of junk in there. Let's see what we can do here. Come on. Oh, I need to black that out. Paint that with a little bit of gold. Right, there's gold in there because it's can't really see it anyway. Right, that works. Back to painting his neck. crack something. This plant-based resin isn't like super fragile or anything. I'm just overly paranoid. Oh, I need to stand up. Oh. Whew. Right. Getting here and black out this whole neck cowl thing. Touch that up with the bowl anyways. It's not quite covered. Turning a little tired. When is it? Oh, it's 9:30. That's why. I may have to abandon this. Till tomorrow. Starting to look like something though. Can't wait to say I get here and start weathering this stuff. And it looks like it's to that part. There's some black piping. That part's definitely armor. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Oh, I want moisture. Come from here. So that's definitely gold. That's gold. That's gold. I think just this little tiny band right in there is also black. I want to do that whole band black. It wouldn't look right. That see it more on this side than you can on this side, but I guess that makes sense. Alright, anyway, I am gonna hang it up for the night. Got a lot of progress made. Arms are looking good. Go back and do the black, or go back and do the gold touch-ups. I feel like parts of that might be need gold. Anyway, I will admire that later. But hang it up. Have a good night. I will catch you tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon, since I got a half day at work tomorrow. I might get started a few hours early, which would be nice. So yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good night.